Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us here at the Hands and Feet of Jesus show. So blessed to have you watch us. I'm blessed to be here with Lee Adams, who's one of the hosts of The Christian View. And we got to be on the show together today. Wasn't that an amazing
Yes, it
show that
was
we did?
amazing, man.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
yes.
Yeah, I'm so blessed to have you on here. So, Lee, one of the things I want to ask you, brother, well, first of all, just thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I really
It's
appreciate
my
it.
honor and privilege to be here.
Yes, sir. God bless you, man. So, one of the things I want to ask, The Christian View, how did you get started with that?
Oh wow, the Christian View. My genesis with the Christian View was kind of unique. It happened years ago when I was doing some acting, and I had auditioned for a role in a movie. At that time, it was called Georgia Justice, and I actually ended up getting a part, and I played as one of the jurors. And it was funny because on set, you're not supposed to talk. You're not supposed to talk to the directors, producers, etc. So they're giving us a little short break, and there I am, in the break room getting something, and the lady comes in and starts talking to me. So I think she's talking to me. I'll talk to her. So we started, chopping it up and everything, and then we go back on, and we're getting ready to roll, and they say, "Oh, wait, hold on." Right before we do anything, the actual writer, producer of the movie, she's here, and she's gonna come in and just say something to everybody. So in comes Jackie Carpenter. So Jackie Carpenter, as you know, was initially the first person who started the Christian View talk show, and so I had met her. We had done the filming, and fast forward, it was maybe about 6 months later, she had told me she was starting a talk show, and I didn't think anything of it because it was going to be a talk show that was geared toward women, all women. So my daughter, who's also an actress, was taking some acting lessons, and I had taken her down to the studio. And while there, the director of the studio, he came out, who's also a producer, a movie producer, has a lot of great movies out. He came out and said, "Hey, have you ever thought about being a TV show, talk show host?" And I was like, "Well, it's something I might." He said, "Hey, I think we got a class on that. You are getting a class." So immediately I think he's just trying to get some more money out of me. I'm already paying for my daughter. And I'm like, "Hey, my daughter got to get through these classes. I can't do anything differently." He says, "No, you need to go in." And he said, "Listen, if you don't want to pay for it on TV," he said, "I need you to just go in there, brother." He said, "Your voice resonates." He said, "I need you to just go in there, be a part of the training." So I went in, did the training, came back the next week, finished out the course. That was in January. It wasn't 90 days before I get a message from Jackie Carpenter to tell me she's having the talk show. And she says, "Lee, we would love for you to come and be a guest co-host." So at that time, it was all women. I come here to WATC. I'm the only guy on the show, first guy, guest person on the show, and the rest is history. I've gone from being a guest co-host, just coming in, being on one show, eventually went to she'd have me rotate on two, to just being part of the show.
It's impactful because I've watched the show and then I've seen you, and that's how I've come to know who you are, and it resonated. I'm like, man, this is a fine, strapping brother right here, who's representing for the Lord. So, man, I love that. You definitely inspired me with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how has this show impacted your life now, or those who are in your area of influence?
I think the Christian View has been a great impact. Like I said, being a part of it, and then Trudy, when Trudy came on board, and then when Trudy took the helm and took the leadership, her vision was just so broad, and things that she wanted to do. And I think sometimes she had just seemed like an uneasiness and unrest. But all of us who knows that when God gives us a vision and we have to move forward, the purpose of it, you just can't be still and complacent. It's almost like you get nervous energy. And I've seen her working in that arena, and it has just really moved from where we were and just has expounded. We're worldwide. We're airing in different countries. I've been a part of some great things. It definitely has helped the influence or the spear of what I do as a local pastor in my career, and the influence of Christ. It is reaching so many people. Like now, it shows in Florida, down in the Orlando area, and my family's all down there, so they get to
Wow,
watch
that's
it
awesome.
now.
That's awesome.
People I went to high school with. I had an old teacher. It was so funny. She's about 90 now, but in one of the episodes she saw it, and of course, she asked my parents for my number, so she gives me a call, and she said, "I need you to sit up straight on TV." So it's so funny, but it definitely has been an impact. The reach, the span, the scope of what God is doing, not so much just for notoriety, but I think for the spiritual influence. It is humbling. to be a part of something, so profound and humbling to be a part of the good news of sharing the message of Jesus Christ. Because I think that that's just, to me, I really feel like we're just on the crust. We're doing a lot.
Sure.
But I think we're on the crust of what God is getting ready to do with the show.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that,
Yes.
and just the fact that I had the privilege to have my second time here on the show has been
amazing, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Great job. Yes.
The object is just to be a vessel, just a conduit for what the
Yes.
Lord wants to do, and to reach the masses. There's so many out there who don't know Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you said that you do this, you're doing this as well, but that's not all what you do, right?
No,
So what's some of the other things you got going?
Well, I pastor a church,
Praise God.
New Day Covenant Ministries, located in Lake City, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
So I pastor there. I've been pastoring now. This is my going into the 15th year.
Praise
almost
the
at 15
Lord.
years.
Okay.
And just profound. And we have, we probably over 200 members, but we're averaging, and even now during the pandemic, we are doing a hybrid model. So on Sundays we do have people fellowshipping. So we tend to stay right at. I have to stop them at the 50, so we stay within guidelines. But we have quite a few that are really locked in. So we have the ministry going forth. We have the Christian View. I still do some acting and some modeling on the side, but then also I'm the CEO of the Clayton Center.
Okay.
And that is a mental health, addictive disease, substance use, behavioral health disabilities. It is the county agency, so we run all the programs for Clayton County, Georgia, where I work and actually where I live, and my church is there as well. So we serve, it's about 300,000 people in Clayton County. So we're quite busy on any given day.
Sure.
My work day or my day, usually it runs anywhere from 10 to 14 hours a day, usually on the grind, either mixing it up between the secular job and the spiritual job.
Yeah.
It's usually quite intense, yeah.
But even with that being said, the secular job, with you pastoring and then you doing the Christian View, you're constantly consulting the Father.
Yes.
You're constantly with the Father. How has that kind of bled into the secular job that you speak of?
Well, I think in everything we do, if we put God first, and in prayer and in humbling, I'm thankful for God for formal training.
Yep.
I'm thankful for, degrees and professional licensures and different areas, but I know at the end that God gives wisdom, and the wisdom of man, and that He gives us the knowledge and the books to go to for reference. But ultimately, I trust the Father. And in every decision that I have to make, when it's a very hard decision, of course I'm going to consult policy, procedure, but more importantly, I have to also consult the Word, because I got to make sure that I have another judge or I got another director that I have to answer to. So I have to make sure that whatever I do, it has to be within the scheme and the scope of being okay with God. A lot of people operate from a standpoint of they want to be man approved or government approved, but I don't want to be FDA approved. I want to be God approved.
You better believe it.
So I want to make sure that whatever I do, that God is approving of it, even in the job or the career, and if it gets to a point where people know this about me, if it gets to a point where it's going to interfere with my relationship and my ability to be able to walk in my integrity as the man of God, then I don't want it. I don't
That's
need
right.
it,
That's
because
right.
I know God will take care of me.
You better believe that. You better believe that. Now, here on the Hands and Feet of Jesus show, as we bring this to a close here, I always like to ask my guests, what ways can people get behind you to support what God is doing in your life? How can they follow up? How can they sow? What is it that people could do?
Well, I think first and foremost, I like covenant. I like covenant partnerships, and I know a lot of people, think about money and things of those nature first, but I want people who's going to pray with me. I need people that's going to stand in the gap with me. I need people that's going to turn their plate down, and say, you know what, the Lord put him on my heart, put the ministry on my heart. I'm going to stand in the gap for the next 72 hours or 21 days, and I'm going to commit to seeking God for God's blessing and His guidance upon that ministry. And that, to me, that is, more powerful, because if people are praying and people are fasting, the money, the people, the resources, they're gonna come. So people a lot of times, they forget. He told us, seek ye first the kingdom and His righteousness, and all these other things are going to be added. So if we keep God at the forefront, I think those things be added. You can follow us at our website at www.newdaycovenantministries.com or www.newdaycovenant.com, I'm sorry. And then if you would like to give, there is a link on there that says click here, donate now. It takes you to the PayPal or to the Facebook or what is it called? Cash App.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with those kind of things.
Sure. Yeah,
money's usually about one of the last things for me. The Cash App for the church, believe it or not, is Pastor Lee Adams. $, Pastor Lee. See how bad I am with this kind of stuff. They have other people, and I don't know why they named it after me, but it goes to the church. But it's $, Pastor Lee Adams, and that's the Cash App. But people want to be involved with the ministry. You can follow me also for my personal page. I'm at leeadams.org. You can follow me there on the web and see some things that I'm doing in a variety of arenas. But I'm grateful, thankful for you opening this door for me. Thankful for this opportunity. And I like the show title, "The Hands and Feet of Jesus," because I think that is so profound within itself, and it carries such a strong, profound message that people need to be getting back to. A lot of times most people now are the hands and feet of themselves, but we need to remember that we're here to serve His purpose. And just hearing that title, that's what it immediately reminds me of, that my calling, my task is that a charge to keep I have, God to glorify. And I think you're doing great work, man.
Well, praise God. Well, I received that. I received that word. I'm actually blessed to be on here. It was a vision given from Barry Alsobrook, who's a CEO, president, visionary of it. God gave it to him. And the show is actually directed to maybe even going into a home of someone who may not know Christ in particular, but there's a need there. And here at the Taken Network, we want to provide that need. Let's say if there was a single mother who has multiple children, but don't have a vehicle to get them to work or school or whatever have you, what we would do is, we hope to do, is maybe cut a check or gift her with a car, and then let her know that it's from Jesus Christ. And that's the object of the entire show. So when we can do interviews like this, we do it in a way where it's still hands and feet of Jesus, because we're able to take your ministry and kind of put you out there that other people can see what it is that you're doing. And it's not that you as a man, it's what God is doing through you to be the hands and feet. Because we hope to reach an audience of those who don't know Christ. Right? I mean, as for the body, we edify, but He said go out into the world and make disciples. So I received that word. And so, just like you, a Taken Network wants those to click that donate button, because listen, God uses money as a resource.
He does.
But in Luke 16, He said to take the money of the unrighteous wealth of the world and sow it into His kingdom. And that's what we should be doing. Taking the wealth of the world, sowing it into His kingdom, because He's going to bring the increase. So, Lee, we thank you so much for joining us, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate that greatly. So, guys, we thank you so much for you.
Brother Sharp here, too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, I've been watching you, brother. Let me tell you, it's a reflection. How about the sock game? Y'all want to see these socks? The sock game is insane. Can we get on the socks real quick?
We are.
Let's get these socks, because this brother's socks game, his sock game next level. Look at this here. You see the pattern on this thing? That don't even make sense. I'm about to have a seizure right now on the floor because of these socks. I tell you, that style and profile, brother ain't just a pastor. That's Shanisto. Been hanging out with Trudy. That's what's been happening. But we thank you guys so much. So listen, follow us. You guys know it. Continue to support us. Support Lee with what he got going. And of course, the Christian View. Okay, so God bless you. And please go and be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Awesome.